Right then, you lot. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're talking about cars. Not just any cars, mind you, but the fascinating, the incredible, and the downright unbelievable. Get ready to discover some mind-blowing facts about cars that you probably didn't know. We're talking about the first car ever cobbled together, the most expensive hunk of metal on four wheels, and a few other things that'll make you spit out your tea. Or something stronger, if you're anything like me. So buckle up, strap in, and hold on to your hats. This is going to be a wild ride through the world of automobiles. Now some of you may think you know cars. You've changed a tire, topped off the fluids, maybe even given your pride and joy a good polishing. But I bet you a tenner you don't know where it all began. 1886, my friends. That's when a bloke named Carl Benz, bless his cotton socks, decided horses were just too mainstream. He slapped together a contraption called the Benz Patent Motor Wagon. This wasn't some sleek Italian stallion, it was more like a motorized tricycle with a top speed slower than your granny on a Sunday stroll. But by Jove, it moved under its own power. And that, my friends, was the spark that ignited the automotive industry. Can you imagine a world without cars? No roaring engines, no traffic jams, no questionable parking decisions. It'd be positively ghastly. Now let's talk about a car that needs no introduction. Well, it probably does for some of you younger viewers. The Toyota Corolla. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Clarkson, you're talking about a car that's about as exciting as a bowl of porridge. And you're not wrong, but here's the kicker. This thing has sold over 50 million units worldwide. That's more than the entire population of, well, quite a lot of countries, really. Why is it so popular? Because it's reliable as a sunrise, it's affordable, practical, and about as exciting as a beige sofa. But hey, it gets you from A to B without much fuss. And sometimes, that's all you need. Now this is more like it. The Bugatti Chiron Supersport 300 Plus. A name that's longer than its stopping distance and twice as exciting. This, my friends, is the fastest production car in the world. How fast? Try 304.77 miles per hour. That's faster than the speed of sound in some places. It's got more horses under the hood than the Queen's stables. And it'll set you back a cool 3 million pounds. But can you really put a price on the feeling of the wind whipping through your hair as you break every speed limit known to man? Probably. Still, this is what happens when engineers say sod it and unleash their inner speed demon. Electric cars, eh? They're all the rage these days. Everyone's driving around in their silent, emission-free pods, feeling terribly smug about themselves. But here's a shocker. Electric cars aren't new. In fact, they've been around longer than petrol cars. The first practical electric car was built way back in the 1880s. That's right, the Victorians were onto something. But then, along came those noisy, smelly petrol engines, and the rest, as they say, is history. Now, electric cars are making a comeback. Whether they'll take over the world remains to be seen. Have you ever looked at a car and thought, how in the bloody hell did they build that? Well, it's a question I ask myself every time I try to change a light bulb. The average car has over 30,000 parts. That's more parts than there are stars visible to the naked eye. You've got your engine, your transmission, your suspension, your electrical system all working together in perfect harmony. It's a marvel of engineering, really. And to think, some people struggle to assemble a flat-pack wardrobe. Now let's talk about a car that's more valuable than a small island. The 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO. This, my friends, is the holy grail of classic cars. It's the automotive equivalent of the Mona Lisa. Why is it so expensive? Well, for starters, only 36 were ever made. It's also drop-dead gorgeous with curves in all the right places. And it's got a racing pedigree that's longer than my list of speeding tickets. In 2018, one lucky sod paid a whopping $70 million for the privilege of owning this beauty. That's enough money to buy a fleet of Bugatti Chirons and still have enough left over for a decent bottle of champagne. Forget your Mini Coopers and your smart cars. Let's talk about a car that's so long it needs its own postcode. The longest car ever built was a limousine that stretched over 100 feet. That's longer than a Boeing 737. This behemoth had everything. A swimming pool, a helipad, a jacuzzi, probably a fully functioning hospital wing for all I know. It was basically a hotel on wheels. Why anyone would need a car this big is beyond me. Imagine trying to parallel park this thing. You'd need a team of surveyors and a packed lunch. Back in the olden days, before Spotify and Bluetooth, car journeys were a much quieter affair. You had the sound of the engine, the wind whistling through the cracks in the windows, and maybe a screaming child or two in the back. But then, in 1929, everything changed. Motorola, bless their souls, introduced the first commercially available car radio. It was a revelation. Suddenly drivers could listen to music, news, and even those thrilling radio dramas, all while cruising down the road. Of course, the first car radios were about the size of a small refrigerator and cost a small fortune. But hey, progress, eh? We've all been there. You're driving along, minding your own business, when suddenly you see those flashing lights in your rearview mirror. But I bet you've never seen a speeding ticket like this. The largest speeding fine ever given was a cool $1 million. It was handed to a Swedish millionaire who was caught doing 180 miles per hour in his Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. Now I'm all for a bit of spirited driving, but that's just taking the biscuit. I hope he had a good lawyer. And finally, because no car-themed adventure would be complete without a bit of absurdity, let's talk about the smart car. You know, that tiny car that looks like it could be folded up and put away in a drawer. Well, some people decided to see how many people they could cram into one of these little beauties. The answer, a staggering 20. That's right, 20 people squeezed into a car smaller than some garden sheds. How they managed to breathe, let alone close the doors, is a mystery for the ages. But hey, it's a world record and that's all that matters. Well, there you have it. 10 mind-blowing car facts that'll make you the most interesting person at your next petrolhead gathering. If you enjoyed this ludicrous journey through the world of automobiles, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. And let us know in the comments which facts surprised you the most. Did I miss any automotive oddities? I'm sure I missed a few. Until next time, drive safe and try not to get caught speeding.